Hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Toon'd. I'm your humble host, Josh the Fox Mills, and here I review cartoons, no matter how new, no matter how old, no matter the cost. When was the first time the world saw cartoons as we know them? Why do we love them so much? Why is a grown man watching cartoons instead of being responsible or productive? I'm only going to answer one of those questions today. Well, without any further ado, let's go through the title sequence and I'll be right back. I wanted to do something special for the first episode. I thought, since it was the first episode, I should go back in time a bit. Try to see if I could find the first cartoon that was ever made in the sense that we know them. I'm not talking about flip books here. They're not enough. I'm talking about our current understanding of how cartoons are. And, well, if I was going to go back in time, I'm going to need a time machine. Luckily, I've got one right here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Gosh, this isn't a time machine, it's a remote control. And you're right. It's a prop. Anyway, forward to the past. It all started with a mouse, where a man named Walt Disney innovated cartoons as we know it by creating the first cartoon to ever have a post-production soundtrack in Steamboat Willie. Obviously, this isn't the first cartoon ever made. However, it did pave the road for many, many things. Now, the plot of it starts with Mickey Mouse on the bridge of a steamboat. The character we'll know later as Pete, he is currently unnamed right now, actually goes in, comes up and kicks Mickey off the bridge because he's the captain, not this loaf around to get back to work. Anyway, during his chores, Mickey's mocked by a parrot constantly. And then, after he knocks the parrot in the water near the end of the episode, he laughs in joyous, horrible glee as it struggles and rides in the water not to drown. Now, that might be a little sadistic for Mickey Mouse, you think so? You haven't seen anything yet. We've got much to do. So let's continue. Just let me adjust my watch here. Plane Crazy was a cartoon short produced in 1927, before Steamboat Willie, but it was publicly released in 1929, after Steamboat Willie, for reasons I am not entirely sure. However, it follows Mickey Mouse's ambitions to follow in Charles Lindbergh's footsteps, and by using animal slave labor and eventually a stolen car engine, Mickey Mouse builds a plane. Oh, who's the bully of this barn who's mean to you and me? Mickeymouse. Mickey tries to, now he has a plane. Whatever's argument. Yeah. Now that he has a plane, he tried to impress Minnie and takes her up in the plane with him. While being stuck in the air, Mickey Mouse tries to basically molest Minnie and force her into a kiss. After refusing the kiss, he throws her out of the plane. Boy, oh boy! I sure do love attempted murder! Ha ha! I'm gonna get that kiss! Anyway, after the crash, well, yeah, after catching her, Minnie Mouse jumped out of the plane using her own bloomers as a parachute. This distraction did cause Mickey to crash. But he wasn't done yet, because after he pulled himself from the wreckage, all cartoon style and everyone's okay, he pulled a lucky horseshoe that Minnie had given him before the flight and tried to huck the thing at Minnie in his rage. Rather than flinging right at her head and potentially killing her, it spun around all boomerang style and hit Mickey instead. Or is that karma? It's probably karma. Anyway, this is how Plane Crazy ended. A wonderful, dark look at Mickey Mouse's true early psyche. Fun little fact, though, Walt Disney himself did all the voice work for this cartoon, and most early Disney cartoons, in fact. But this isn't the first cartoon ever produced. We need to go back further. So, let's do the time warp again. This one was a little hard to find actual footage for. Namakura Katana, or blunt sword in Japanese, is a very, very old piece of Japanese film. It follows the story of a bumbling samurai who is tricked by a merchant into buying a defunct katana, which he then attempts to use to kill his hated enemy with hilarious results. There's not really much to say about it, so I guess it's basic, it's kind of crude, but it's solid animation nonetheless given the time. There's not much to really say about this, so I'm just going to move on now. It's time to be kind and rewind. Josh, no one's going to get that reference, Josh. VHSs, really? That was a good idea. Well, it's not. You're stupid. It's a bad idea. You're dumb. In 1908, Emile Cole, a French cinematographer, created Phantasmagorie, easily the first what-the-heck cartoon. As far as I can tell, also the first known blend of cartoon and live action. It was a stop-motion cartoon formed on a blackboard and followed the bizarre visuals of a shape-shifting clown that warped reality for whatever. A lot of weird things happen. It really defies all logic. I'm going to make a confusing cartoon where ducks are thrown at balloons and women's hats turn into elephants. But this is not the first cartoon I've ever made either, so we're going to have to keep going. Rufus! We gotta go further back, dude! Excellent! There's a little controversy for this one, as experts are uncertain on when Kasudo Saishin was actually created. It is believed that it was between 1907 and 1911. And since the earliest of these dates, 1907, comes 1 year before Phantasmagoria, that's why I'm mentioning it now. This is the first known Japanese cartoon ever made. And it's actually the first one in color, I might add. It is a short clip of a cute little Japanese boy writing something and then turning to the camera and removing his hat and bowing. I can show you the whole thing right now. Here we go. There, wasn't that amazing? And but this isn't the first cartoon. It's back 4 more. We're going to be going back 9 more years, and back to France. Whoosh, whoosh, TARDIS noise. In 1892, Charles-Emile Renard, to test his theater optique system, created Pauvre Perrault, or Poor Pete in English. Well, it could actually be Poor Sad Clown. My sources were a little unreliable about that, but I don't know French. Anyway, this is without a doubt the first instance of a cartoon the way we've come to understand them. But it goes more than that. And now, you know what film perforations are? They're the little holes along the sides of film that allowed the mechanical teeth to pull them along. Well, Pauvre Perrault was the very first film to ever use perforations. So, not only is this the first cartoon, but also and the first color cartoon, but also an innovator in the world of film in general. Now, the plot is simple, but serviceable. A swordsman is in love with a woman on a balcony. But a clown with a guitar shows up from time to time to try to woo this woman, only to have the swordsman show up later to scare off Pete and win back the lady. The end. Now, some can say this is a cheat for calling this a film because of the primitive technology it used. But at the same time, it was quite an innovator. So I'd say it gets a pass, personally. But anyway, so here we are. My friends, we have reached the end of our little journey together through time. And there's really nothing more left to do than give my final thoughts in a segment I like to call What Does the Fox Say? It's important to know where your roots are so that you can better understand where you are and where you're going. These old cartoons, we can respect our past and at the same time see how far we've come. Obviously, newer cartoons beat these ones for production value and techniques, but without these foundations, modern cartoon institutions would not exist. These cartoons should get a pass for being the first in a new art and not yet knowing the rules. I hope you enjoyed our little trip back in time. It was entertaining, educational, inspiring, and best of all, there were absolutely no consequences for my foolish meddling of the timeline. A Green Lantern ring. The Guardians have good taste. Anyway, I will continue my theme of cartoon first by taking a look at the first ever cartoon produced by the Hanna-Barbera Animation Studios. Until then, I'm Josh the Fox Mills. Stay tuned.